But people don't ask questions. Judaism has to be, it's a lie. It's a lie when people say that Judaism is the religion that you're allowed to question in. It is a lie, 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 lie. Of course you could question. Once they give you the answer, if you disagree with that answer, they'll kick you out of the yeshiva. 100%. 100%. Like almost how the communists had these mock trials, right? I mean, the person was already guilty before they brought him up. Judaism has mock arguing. Like, yeah, you're allowed to argue like in the base medrash to a certain extent, right? Certain extent, give a little pushback, but everybody knows the halakha is not going to change. Okay, so this is how you know that you're talking to either like a messianic or a convert who's never been to yeshiva, or someone who's not religious, who's Jewish, who doesn't know much about the yeshiva world. They're like, what are you talking about? We're people who question. Yeah, like maybe if you're like writing the guidelines for queer theory or something, but not in the religious world. If you speak out in the religious world, you get thrown under the bus. Okay. Now, assuming that you may be able to fit in somewhere, maybe in America. All right. I mean, there's maybe some sort of car box shul that accepts giving women aliyahs. That's another example, right? I mean, trust me, I'm extremely on the right. I'm for making places of worship a little more masculine just because we need a little more fixing than women do, in my opinion. Fine, it's not a spiritual conclusion. But the idea of giving a woman an aliyah, right? That's pretty, I mean, coveted tzibor, in terms of it being prohibited, it's not prohibited. If we're allowed to question, why aren't there Orthodox synagogues that give women aliyahs, right? I mean, why aren't there Orthodox synagogues that don't have a mechitza? There is one, by the way, like in Denver, there's a shul called BMH that has a minyan with a mechitza, which is why they could still remain under the OU, but the main shul, Orthodox shul, doesn't have a mechitza. Why? Because the halacha doesn't mention a mechitza. If you're allowed to question, why aren't there women wearing tefillin? I don't know, right? I mean, Rashi's daughters, I don't know if it's true, but the idea is that Rashi's daughters were tefillin. Do I believe it? I don't know. I understand the whole notion, mitzvot as a chazman grama, that they're not bound by positive commandments that are time bound. Why? Because you can't really question so much. Now, I do question. This is why people question me. So yes, conclusion, I don't think we're supposed to have an easy fast. We're just supposed to, I'm not saying it's supposed to be hard, and I'm not saying that I'm going to make it harder for myself. I'm going to carry in that eruv, even though I can't justify the eruv halachically. I'll be like, when am I going to tell my daughter, right? I mean, like she can't carry a sefer to her friend's house. I'm going to ride the wave, but I'm going to question. I'm going to be like, how do you come to this location? I think most eruvim, and like in terms of even Chabad is better, like is correct in this area, are not kosher. Not to brag, but I had an easy fast. Yeah, no, God willing, they should be easy, But I don't know, like we should parade it. Like, are you sure you're going to eat? Right? I mean, shuls will have a big meal before the fast. Break the fast, I get it, right? Sort of. I don't know. I guess I have to think about that. Okay. When they put the sin on the chicken and the loaf of bread. I never heard of them putting it on a loaf of bread. Maybe a thing, I never heard of it. The chicken, shlugging kaparis. Yes, that's another silly custom. I don't see many rabbis speaking out against it. And that's how you measure the integrity of your teacher. If he's able to criticize, at least slightly criticize the movement that he belongs to. If your teacher, let's say, is a Chabad rabbi, and he never says anything critical against Chabad. There's different factions within Chabad. If you're Meshachist, or like if you believe that Chaim Dietsch is like the last Rebbe, they're going to be disagreeing on themselves. But Chabad Stam, like just in general, if someone has to pay lip service to the group they happen to belong to just because they happen to be born in that group, means like, what else are they lying to you about? I belong more to like Maimonidean, like a more like a Temani way of understanding Judaism. And I have many differences with Temanim, or with people who are big on the Rambam, like Rav Kapach. I have differences with the Rambam that I will try to articulate, but only because I like the Rambam, it means I can't disagree with